How's folks doing today?
Doing all right. How about yourself? Thanks for the spec PR.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, just kind of ramping up, reading through stuff, cleaning up little things as I see them. So appreciate the quick approval on those.
Yeah, trying to be better at that. So get that merged and it should make it out into platform 07. What are you working on at VMware? You're on the Buildpacks team?
Yeah, I just started on our Cloud Native Buildpacks contributors team last week. Still kind of finding my way, ramping up and all that. I may end up the one piece that's kind of standing out to me right now is the Buildpack authors toolkit. Come from a if you squint a little, my background looks like that a lot. So yeah, that might be a place where I kind of look to contribute starting out.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess let Sam and I know if you have any questions or just hop on. And
yeah, I definitely plan on the sub team meeting on Friday.
cool. Got Ben, Steven. I feel like that's quorum for a core, right? At this point.
Emily's coming. We're both in the VMware Zoom.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Switch over. Yeah, I just updated all my invites after Sam sent out the thing, and then reminded me during the platform subteam sync. I was like, oh yeah, I should just do this for all my meetings, or I'm going to fail one time randomly.
And it's automatically recording our.
Yeah, you get that like nice like 3 to 4 minutes of silence at the beginning of every YouTube video now. It's great. Cool.
So with whatever our sync to YouTube is, we can also run it through some GKE ML stuff to find out when the content actually starts and trim it at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'll leave that to Sam and Javier to work that out.
Awesome. Cool. I guess we need to copy some agenda stuff over. Should we do right now? If you haven't signed in the doc, I feel like this is like Steven's obligatory statement about please sign into the doc. We'll paste in the chat. Thank you for pasting the agenda, Emily. Cool. Am I running this meeting? I guess I'm talking, so that's probably yes. I wasn't sure if Emily wanted to run one last meeting before she headed out.
It's your meeting now, Terrence. I'm glad you volunteered to take it over. That's what just happened, right?
Am I volunteering?
It's as much as I ever volunteered to run it in the first place, which was I didn't volunteer, but no one else did it.
Cool. All right. So is spec PR first thing up? Is that true? New faces. I don't think we have any new faces. Outstanding spec PRs. I think the only one we have is the one that we are just talking about. That Mikey put in for just some typo fixes. You said you want to move this to main, Emily, and then we're gonna backport it to platform 07. Is that right? The branch, because we get those branches up tonight.
I feel like we should just delete the branches after we tag things, to be honest. But
okay.
But yes, I can backport it to the branch. We wanted to keep the branches. If someone wants to argue that that is worthwhile.
Well, I'm happy either way if we delete the branches and we have the tags. We just have a lot of the branches already.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just the pattern.
The spec is in a slightly weird state right now, which is my fault because I merged in platform 07 and got the release notes ready. I was about to click the button when more late breaking changes came in, which is why we're merging them directly to main. But I think once we merge this, we can cut a release that points at main right now, and that will be platform 07. And then we can either delete the branches or I will fix the branch depending on what people want to do. But I vote we delete the branches. Since we don't update the branches, I don't see a point in having them once we have the tags.
Okay. So you cool with me just clicking the green button?
Yep.
Awesome.
Can't hear you, Ben.
Damn it. You sure?
I hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Like breaking
DNB contribution.
Yeah, we could hear you, but then all of a sudden we couldn't. It went in and out. I'm sure you said, is it something that we need to do something about? Oh yeah. Congrats, Mikey. Your first spec contribution.
Yeah, thanks again.
Anytime.
Looking forward to many more. Cool. So next, I think that's the only outstanding one. And then I think Emily was kind of rolling into the state of release planning and platform 07.
There are draft release notes for platform 07 up already. They need to be amended to include one more typo fix link.
That's under here.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to,
Is that just pulling in Mikey's change to
the change I would make is add one more little link down there into non-functional changes, typo fixes.
Okay.
And I'll add his typo fix to the milestone. And then I think we are good to click the button unless someone wants to copy edit my wording or suggest improvements. Sometimes I struggle with the release notes for the spec because I don't want to write a full migration guide because we have a different one of those.
Where do the migration guides go? That's under like lifecycle and stuff, right?
In the docs.
In docs.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do we have docs on releasing spec stuff?
We talked about this last week. There aren't, but I've agreed that before I turn into a pumpkin, I will PR in a release MD to the spec repo.
Even if that happens after Friday?
Yes. Even
Okay.
if it happens after Friday, you will get a PR before I disappear.
Cool. Sounds good. If you want, I can click the button and do the things that you tell me to, or you can have the thing and then I will follow it and then do it.
You want to do the release?
I don't personally want to do the release. I just think if you are going on a sabbatical and not going to be around, then we shouldn't have you doing stuff as much and be set up for when you're not around, because I think you've been doing it for the last, I don't know how long.
I think I might have done all of them.
Yeah, maybe all of them. So
Yeah.
got to start somewhere. So you said we should add this to the milestone.
Yep.
7. I guess for the record, I also don't want to take over everything you did. Cool.
Yeah, that's for the rest of you to figure out amongst yourselves.
Yeah, it's not your problem anymore. Cool. Spec release planning. Anything else there? Yeah, so I'll just sync up with you after the meeting, between whenever, to get that out. Awesome. Outstanding RFCs. Can we do this in 18 minutes? I think we can. Okay. So no new RFCs. So kind of just going through the existing stuff. Starting from the bottom, combine and organize metadata file locations.
Yeah, last I looked, I think Natalie had some questions. I was waiting for more feedback. It looks like since then, both Terrence and Ben have already given their thumbs up. So I'll look for another round of, yeah, I guess specifically, Emily, if you've got questions around the latest thing, that would be great. Otherwise, your thumbs up would be good. And I'll address Natalie's stuff as well.
Yep, or you're just gonna have to live with it when you come back. Nah, Emily. Do you have suggestions? Is Natalie here? No, it's here.
That's a good point. Yeah, there are suggestions for these. Like I think I put them here originally to make migration easier. Just the TLDR and why it's where it is because it makes the configuration maybe slightly easier when you're switching from one to the other if you need the old behavior. But yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on either of the things Natalie pointed out.
Okay. Cool. So just waiting for feedback and approvals, basically.
Yeah, just making sure there's nothing else that we want to discuss before I kind of take in the last bits of minor feedback.
Sounds good. This is still blocked, right? Waiting on that POC. I see Sam nodding his head. Is there a way to see more people when you're screen sharing in Zoom, or am I just stuck with like the 4?
I always use the 2 window mode instead of the 1 window mode.
What's the 2 window mode?
Like you can have people in one window and the screen share another. It works really well if you have 2 monitors, but even on one large monitor, you can set them up next to each other.
Are you allowed to use the desktop client? Or are you still using the web client?
No, I am on the desktop client, but I wonder if the Linux client is just like worse, which may be true.
You can switch to the side-by-side presentation plus gallery mode that lets you have all the people on the side.
I don't think that's true for the person sharing. All they get is the little
Okay.
thing that hangs off to the side.
Yeah, that's all I have. So like I saw Sam nod his head, but it's only
You can get 4
lucky
people.
Yeah, I have 4 people.
But you can't get all. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is Jesse, where his camera's turned off. So like that's not very useful for
Such a waste. Such a
Yeah,
waste.
such a waste of pristine real estate. Structured bot format, Sam.
This has, I think this is ready for FCP as of today.
Yeah. Yeah, I had one more question, just talking with folks on our side from kind of the product perspective, as we've been looking into this, of just they're asking like about different SBOM formats, and I don't know if we will necessarily support them, but I was just curious if we want to address like the process in here. But I'm happy to move this to FCP, and we can iterate on that.
Do we want to schedule time in the working group tomorrow to explain the restore process? Or
Yes, that sounds great to me. Cool. Remove stacks and mixins. There was a note from last week about Stephen resolving questions, and I went to look through this today, and I didn't rewatch the recording, but I was wondering what those questions were.
I have not looked at this in a week. So if there's some things that need to get updated from last week, I have not addressed them.
Yeah, I was just wondering what, I didn't know what the open ones were. I'm trying to remember. I talked to Natalie about one of her open things here. Oh, do we want to add this to unresolved or something? Was that the thing from last week? So I think everything
Yeah.
else has been addressed. Oh yeah, I think that's what it was, right?
Was there a thing about? No, actually, that's the other one. Yeah, I think everything's been addressed for this one. I think it's the other one that I haven't updated. Feedback. I think this one is. Yeah, it just needs to note that as an unresolved question.
Yeah, I think it was you were going to move this unresolved and ping me, and then I was going to merge it in. Cool.
Or enter FCP. Okay.
Yeah, we're writing FCP. So once you,
Yeah.
I'll make a note so we actually remember.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Excited to see that go through. Not excited to deal with it on the other end, but support Docker files. Where are we on this? There was the naming thing that we did last time.
Yep, I think there are a couple things outstanding. There's naming, there's some questions about how mixins get provided if they're specified on the, not mixins, but build plan entries get provided if they're specified on the base image is unresolved also. Couple of updates I need to make there.
Okay.
This is not ready to move anywhere yet, I don't think.
Did you want to talk about it some more tomorrow?
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Officially support utility Buildpacks. Did you and Joe powwow, Emily?
We did. I think Joe said he was going to update this. We came to an agreement where it does not need to be in the spec. We were going to try to capture in requirements sort of. I think we both agree that the reason he wanted it in the spec was not because it needed to be in the spec, but because it was a proxy for other things like the set of people that would need to vote to pull new things in and the level of documentation.
Okay. And that it will be in, has that already been updated? No, that's 28 days ago.
Yeah, I don't think he's updated it yet.
Okay. So you're saying Joe's updating this, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it loosening the spec restriction, but still keeping?
It's removing the spec restriction, but clearly calling out that every new build pack we add here is going to require like an RFC and not just a bat team RFC, like a project RFC. Because it seems like one of the reasons for wanting it to be in the spec is so that we sort of have a very high bar before we add a lot of these. And then the other piece would be to have very clear documentation for each of these build packs.
Cool. Awesome. This is blocked on that still. Exportable layers. Sam.
I think at this point, like, it's just on us to decide whether we want to go down this path or not. Before I address any more comments.
Okay. Is that a thing we want to talk about some more tomorrow again? I know we talked about it a bit last week.
Sure. I think we wanted to, I don't know if we wanted to schedule a separate one or if we just wanted to talk more in the working group itself.
I know there was a thing that Stephen was doing one-off on the like multi, I guess, working dir suggestion he had, right? But your proposal is still different from that. Is that correct?
Yep.
Do you need help scheduling that, Stephen? Do you want me to take point on that?
This is to talk about multiple app directories.
Yeah, the multiple app directory.
Yes. Can we do that next week? Is that
Yeah, whenever. I don't think there's a rush on that.
cool? I'm
think that
happy
would-
to schedule it. Just
Cool.
little tight this week.
Yeah, no worries, man. Cool. All right, so but you did want to talk about this proposal tomorrow. Yes, Sam.
I can talk about it if there are, like, I think the concerns that were raised in the last working group meeting would still be applicable. So if
Okay.
that's a hard block, then we probably need to find an alternative solution. If we are amenable to changing some of those restrictions, then we can talk about it.
Maybe talking about the app directory proposal first and comparing the two will kind of give us more to, where we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of coupling it to different, entities that specify the locations.
Yep.
Okay, so do we want to hold off then until we meet to talk about the after stuff?
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. The last one is the product descriptor converter. I don't think there's been any updates, but I think folks need to review if you haven't. Do you want comments and stuff on this, Emily, before you head out?
Do I want to leave comments on this?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
or
I'll go
whatever the team-
through, before I head out, I'll give everything that's in flight, like a read over. But if, after that, you can all decide to do with that as you will.
Cool. Sounds good. I feel like Stephen also had strong feelings on this suggestion, if I recall, as well, right?
I have not read this through yet, but I think this is moving in the direction that both Stephen and I had.
Yep.
Strong feelings that we should move in, which is converting it to a way that's consistent with the platform API.
Cool. I think that's all the RFCs. Yeah, under the clock even now. There was, I feel like Emily or someone said something in one of these RFCs about wanting more pack or platform stuff. Was that the remove stacks one?
Yeah, I think that ties into the comment that we were discussing, putting in unresolved questions. It's like, once we remove stacks and mix-ins, I think we've agreed on the format of Buildpack TOML and the intention of it, but what does Buildpack package do? How does it interact with this new format? I think is an important question. Are we going to try to make these multi-arch images, make them only in the published case where that's viable, and people, specify exactly which target they're building? I think there's some UX questions there that will be important to folks.
Do you want to block merging the RFC on addressing that stuff, or is that
No.
like a platform?
No, I just think a platform sub-team RFC would be a good thing, just so everyone can see what the plan is.
Okay, so is the action here then, when this gets merged, we open RFC for that?
Yeah, and I don't think it has to be a top level RFC. I think it can just be
Yeah.
a platform RFC. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the suggestion?
I kindly request that when the platform team looks into this, they start with a sub-team RFC, because I think having the UX laid out would be useful to people.
I think you could mention the sub-team maintaining.
Is that just Buildpacks platform maintainers?
Yep.
To talk about the UX around removing stacks. What do we do? Cool. I think I'm assigned to this, so I can also make a note before we merge this to open up an issue on, is pack the right place? You want that, Javier? Just
For
track
the
work.
I mean, it could be in the RFC's repo.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Anything else in the last minute? I think we have to set the agenda, right? So I think the two RFCs we talked about were structured bomb and Docker files. Is that right? Do we
Yes.
have preferences on which order we do these in?
Bomb
bomb
first.
Yeah. It's the one we'll actually be able to finish in some sort of reasonable time.
Okay. Cool. I will copy those over to the agenda for tomorrow. And I think we're at time.
Good one, everybody.